Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to this webinar and demonstration on AI made simple for CSI and SyteLine. My name is Jim Maughan, and I'm going to be doing the majority of the presentation. I also have Ron Sweeney with me. Ron's one of our senior technical consultants, and he's here to help with any questions from the technical side and just make sure everything's working smoothly. So, Ron, thank you for joining, and thank you for everybody else that's joined. We've got a good number of customers joining. We've got a bunch of people that are new to CyberQuery. We've got partners and informs. So welcome, everyone. So we're going to go through some PowerPoint slides today just to kind of talk about the architecture and how everything fits together. Then we'll spend most of our time just showing you the demo. But at the end of the webinar, there's going to be a survey where you can request a copy of the PowerPoint slides or a link to the recording or even a free download of the software. So at the end of the webinar, make sure you fill that in and give us some feedback on what you thought of this session. So now a couple housekeeping points. Now I can't actually hear questions as we go along, but you can submit them through the question and answer dialog within Zoom. And please do that. And Ron's going to be watching those, and he may interrupt and either answer your question himself or ask me to answer it. But we'll take questions as they come. So again, don't hesitate to ask questions. And again, if you want a one-on-one demo for your organization, just mention that in the survey, and we'll do that for you. So okay, so just starting right here. The agenda for today, we're going to talk about traditional AI versus manufacturing reality. We'll talk about CyberQuery and the CyberQuery AI architecture. We're going to spend most of our time just showing you the product, CQ AI, and then we'll talk about next steps. The next steps are really pretty simple. If you like what you see, just let us know. We'll send you a free evaluation copy of the software. It's real easy to download. We'll help you with install. The install takes probably 2 to 4 hours. So it's not a really big deal to get it installed. And then we'll help you set some things up, let you play with it for 30 days. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, send it back to us, all at no cost. So try to make this as transparent and as easy as possible for you. So I would like to start off with a question. And actually, we took this question and submitted to ChatGPT, and Chat came back with the 5 potential answers. So again, the question is, where is your company on your AI journey? The first option is no plans. We haven't bought the car yet. Number 2, working on it. Car still in the driveway. Number 3, moving forward, still in the neighborhood. Getting traction. We're on the highway and approaching our final destination. And what we'd like to do is actually ask you to fill out this quiz just so we can kind of get a feel of where everybody is on their poll. So I'm going to bring up this poll and give you like 20 seconds to pick one of those options. I can see we've got some people coming in, and we've got a bunch of answers. So, we're going to give people another 15 seconds, and then we'll share the results with everybody. Okay. I'll tell you what, we're going to call that good. So I'm going to end the poll, and I'm going to share the results. And so there's the results. 44% saying no plans, haven't bought the car. 44% saying working on it. Car still in the driveway. 1 said moving forward. And then we've got 1 who said approaching our final destination. That's great. Normally when we do this webinar or the session, ask these questions, the answers are pretty consistent. There's a lot of people that are, just kind of figuring out their plans. But most people are going to say that they're still in the driveway. A few more typically say moving forward. But this is the first time I've had somebody say approaching our final destination. So congratulations to that person. Okay, so I'm going to close that window. And you might have to close it on your own side as well. So, okay. So I'm going to go move on to the next screen. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hide that bar down at the bottom. So moving right along, I'm going to just kind of go through these other slides. So talking about traditional AI versus manufacturing reality. Now, most AI solutions are going to have a cloud mandate. They're going to say, hey, in order for our AI solution to work, you've got to move all your operational data into the cloud. That's not good. They're also going to say there's a translation gap. They're going to spend a lot of time building in terminologies that say this is what revenue means, this is what margin means, this is what efficiency means. They're also going to, let you know there's a risk factor that it's kind of unpredictable. The answers you get back from typical AI are going to be hard to validate, and they could be incorrect, which might result in incorrect actions. So where we've come from with cyberquery is we're really focused on security. And because we know SyteLine and CSI, we already speak SyteLine and CSI. We do not need to move your data into the cloud. We also know CPQ, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, JD Edwards, QAD, any other application data you may need to access. The access is instant. Well, within, I'm going to say 4 hours, and it's probably closer to 2 hours depending on your environment. But we've got it down to a science where we can install cyberquery and the AI environment, and you'll be asking questions and getting back results literally within 2 to 4 hours. The other thing, we talk about zero friction deployment. We've already spent the hours to build the lexicon that defines terms. So the system knows about efficiency, that knows about general ledger, knows about margins and revenue and all that. So again, it makes that installation and startup very quick for you. And then again, we talk a lot about security, but that's key. So this key environment or the key piece for cyberquery in our environment is your data stays locally. It stays on-prem or stays in your cloud environment, never leaves your infrastructure. Zero export. You do not need to send data offsite. And it protects your IP. So everything, again, is staying local, which means secure. With cyberquery is a read-only environment. Our AI is not going to change any of your information. It also allows you to set local security controls. So not only can the cloud not see all your data, you can control which users, either user ID or AD group, can see a given site, a table, or even a field value. So if you need to do security by contract or by sales rep, you can still impose that security through the cyberquery AI. And we'll show you that as we go forward here. Okay, just talking about the architecture. This is kind of a high-level screen. Over here on the left, you have various types of consumers. So you have executives with all kinds of questions. You have information users that need to see reliable data on a periodic basis. You also have IT and people that can care about security who want to control who can see what and do what. So you got consumers. Over here on the far right, you have your data sources. So this could be CSI SyteLine. It could be ancillary systems like CPQ or Inforce CRM. It might be cloud-based apps like Salesforce or anything else. So these are your data sources. So the whole idea with cyberquery AI is how do we bridge the gap between the consumers and the data sources? And specifically, how do we do that? It's with what we call our cyberquery server. So this is just going to be a Windows server in your environment. So it could be in your cloud environment. It could be on-prem. And now there's three components of the cyberquery server that you're going to want to be aware of. Number one is the CQ engine. So cyberquery has got a great engine, lets you drag and drop, build all kinds of queries. In addition to the drag and drop environment, it also has a very powerful English-like syntax that underlines the entire product. So people that understand AI know that AI works great with any kind of syntax-based environment. And that's what cyberquery provides. The second piece of this picture is what we call the CQ data dictionary. This data dictionary is the metadata. And this gets built locally at your particular facility. So it picks up all your custom tables, custom fields, all of that stuff. And it's this data dictionary, this metadata that we share with the AI engine. Most important part of this dictionary is all the relationships. So again, because the AI engine knows about the relationships, a user can go in and say, show me sales by bill to customer. And the system knows how to translate sales, bill to customer to generate that query back to the user. The third component of this picture is what we call the CQ starting points. Now, over the years, we've built thousands of queries and reports for SyteLine and CSI. We've taken the best of the best and made those what we call CQ starting points that just helps the engine know where to go to build an efficiency report or which tables to look at for an income statement or a bill of material. That's all part of the kind of the metadata that comes with the package. So again, it makes it easy for your users to sit down after the 2-hour install and start asking questions to the CQ AI assistant. Okay. So with that, we like to say, AI, but verify. So we want to be able to make sure that we give you an environment that allows your users to rely on the information they get back. We want to keep the good, which is the ease of use and the speed and the availability, but we want to add security. And again, that's security for your data and keeping it private, and also protecting your intellectual property. So as you move forward and you build a query that you like or have a conversation that you want to be able to repeat, you can do that with CyberQuery. You can take your own queries and put them into that starting point library. So it grows over time. The second piece is power. Nothing worse than starting off with a product that's going to run out of gas on you. CQ will not run out of gas. You can build the most complex queries you can imagine in the system. I've been with cyberscience now 20 plus years. I've never seen a report we could not do. So again, very powerful. Third bullet, accuracy. Again, being able to get an answer and drill down and slice and dice that data to verify it. Fourth, repeatability. So again, if you do something and you like it, now you want to be able to schedule it. And I want this information sent to me every Monday morning, or I want to be able to send this to my team, every evening at 6:00. So repeatability. And then finally, cost effectiveness. So again, with CyberQuery, you don't need to mortgage the farm to get into the software. We'll talk a little bit more about pricing as we go along, but a company, and this isn't, user, but for a company, average customer with, say, 5 developers, 20 runtime users, they're spending probably on average $1,500-$1,600 a month for the software. So again, it's very cost effective. Okay, how does the system work? I'm going to go through some screenshots just so I can show you and highlight areas that you're going to see as we get into the demo. I can also make these screens a little bit bigger than you might be able to see in the demo. So first thing you notice, to go into CyberQuery AI, all you need is a browser. So whether it's Internet Explorer, Internet Edge, Firefox, Chrome, even Safari. So you can run CQ AI on an iPhone or an iPad, or again, whatever users might happen to have. It's the browser we care about. So again, any major browser. So as you go into the product, you're going to select CyberQuery AI. We've changed it from chatbot to be AI assistant. And as you go into the product, what you're going to see first is you're going to see over here on the left what we call the conversation history. Now, you can go back in time and pick any conversation you've done and start there, or you can build a new one. You can also shrink this down by clicking that little arrow to shrink it there, and I'll do that in the demo. But as you go into the AI assistant, you can go in and ask questions about, generating queries, the CyberQuery language environment, or what's in the dictionary. So if you want to go in and just say, hey, in the dictionary, show me all tables that have the word serial number. And it can look through and tell you all the tables that are populated in your environment that have the word serial number. Down here at the bottom is where you're going to actually type your request. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, show me an AR agent report as of January 1, 2018. Now, the reason for that old date is I'm using the standard Infor demo data, and you know it's old. So I put in that query. The system goes out there and runs, and the first thing it does is it's going to come back and say, hey, I found some starting points that may, answer your question. Do you want to start there? I'm going to say yes. So let's go look at starting points. It brings me back what we call thumbnails. This is going to show me, in this case, I've got 4 or 5 different thumbnails of various starting points that deal with AR aging. I say, okay, I kind of like this one. I highlight it. I come down here and I click use this starting point, and bam, that quickly, here's my AR aging report as of January 1, 2018. I can now take this data and I can dump it into Excel. I can, write it out as HTML, as a PDF document. I can send it as a comma separated value file, or I can email it, all from the screen right here. So again, it's not just a query and you can't do anything with it. Now you can actually do something with these queries or conversations that you're having with the AI engine. Okay, I'm going to come back here and let's start a new query. I'm going to say, show me total extended value of customer orders by item. And the system says, okay, what do we want to do? I'm going to say, create a new query for me. And I'm going to look at what we call the summary view of that query. And basically the system's saying, hey, this query calculates the total extended value for each item within customer orders. And, blah, blah, blah. You can read through the rest of it. So I can work at this English level. I can also click on what we call the query tab, which actually shows me what the system's doing behind the scenes, which tables it's using, how it's kind of grouping data. And then all I do is I come in here and I say, I can go through and read all the stuff that it's saying. Okay, it's going to use the domain table, in this case, CO item master. It's taking price times quantity, 2 decimal places. But I'm just going to come in here and say run. So it goes out here and runs. You see over here in the right-hand part of the screen, your report right there. And I can say, great, I'm done. Or what I might want to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to turn off the AI assistant for a second. So you just see I got the assistant. If I click on options now, it's going to hide the assistant. And I am now going to go in here and say, okay, I want to look at, I want to bring in description. So I type in the word DESC. I want to, whoops, hold on a second. Let me go back there. Sorry, I think I clicked outside that box here. Get back to where I was. Okay. Click back there. Oops. And start from this screen. Sorry about that. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to click description. I'm going to click, item master. I'm going to drag in item master. So there's my item. So I can interact with this query either through the cyber query environment or through my AI assistant. And I can jump back and forth. So I'm going to click back on assistant. And now it takes me back into the report to show me what it's done. I'm going to add some more. And I've shrunken down the history. But I'm going to come in here and say, okay, just show me the top 10 customers by extended value and collapse on customer name. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click that little plus and minus sign. I like that plus and minus sign. What it does is it shows me in green what's been added based upon that last dialogue. If there's anything that's been removed or taken away, it showed that in pink with that plus and minus sign. I come down here and just click that run option. And I'm going to go from there over here. So that runs that report. It brought in, item description, collapsed it, and now I can expand and collapse using those arrows in that report name right there. Okay, I'm going to add some more here. I'm going to say remove item and description and display report as a pie chart. Again, I'm going to click that little plus and minus sign, and you can kind of see the red are the pieces that have been removed. The green are pieces that have been added. And again, I can keep reading through all the text here that the AI engine generated, and I could just say refresh, Or I can also come down here and I can say, copy this query to the paste buffer, and I can send it to other people. I can also click on that little green smiley face to say, hey, good job, AI assistant. Or I can click on that red frowny face to say, hey, this isn't quite what I expected. I could also say to the AI engine, try that again, refresh it. I can also click on that little encyclopedia-like looking book and look at all of the processing or, all the logic the AI engine has gone through to build the report. In my case, I'm just going to say run. Oh, I could also, I'm sorry, I want to cover this. I can also start new conversations, share the conversation. And then this one right here called advice for the assistant. This comes in real handy. And this is kind of advice for the assistant on this query as well as other queries, because you may say, hey, I always like to see my numbers with 2 decimal places. Somebody else might say, nah, I only want to see 0 decimal places. Or I might say show dollars with 2 decimal places, but hours with 3 decimal places. You can set up that assistant locally for your user. There's also assistant at the dictionary level that has a lot of these terms already defined. So again, there's multiple layers within this advice for the assistant. But again, when I'm ready, I click run, and there's our report as a pie chart. So I'm going to say I'm okay right there. Let's go into the live demonstration here. So I'm just going to come over here and click on my browser. And here's my environment. So, okay, I've come in here and I've clicked on Show the Assistant. Again, I'm just using Chrome, but let's start with a query here, and I'm just going to do something really simple. Now, notice that I can either type or I can even use my microphone. So I'm going to click on that microphone, and I'm going to say, show me a bill of material. Okay, system goes out there and runs and says, okay, he's got to figure out what does he mean by bill of material. It goes out there, and again, it's showing starting points, or it can build a query from scratch. I'm going to click on show starting points. And in this case, again, we've probably got 3 or 4 different starting points we can choose from. I kind of like this one called BOM report with input item and site. I'm going to highlight that, click use that starting point. It goes out there and runs. And in this case, it's got a prompt for site. I'm going to go with LA. And it says, for item, again, I can click my little drop-down list. So I just click run. System goes out there. Now it builds a bill of material. And I'm going to maximize that screen just so you can see it better. So here's a simple bill of material for that particular item. You'll notice the various levels, and it's got, item description, unit, quantity per, extended quantity per. If I scroll over here to the right, it's got unit cost and extended BOM cost. So, that might be all I need. I might be happy. Or I might say, what are these blue things? Well, if I hover over any of these, for example, if I hover over wheel assembly, that'll pop up says, see where this item is used. So if I click there, I get a where used report. So again, I might say, hey, this is a pretty cool report. I'm glad I used that starting point rather than build it from scratch because it's got some additional features in there. Or I can say, you know what, I kind of like this, but I want to add into this BOM. Let's go in here. I'm going to go back to my assistant, and I'm going to say, add. Let's type in here item family code and product code. After, if I could type here, after item description. Okay, and say go. So now the AI is going to go out there and basically do what I told it to do, working against this starting point report. And again, I can kind of watch what it's doing. Every once in a while, you might see this whole box go red. And, because, sometimes the AI figures out, hey, did something wrong, but I can always refresh it. I'm going to say, hey, everything looks good. I'm going to click my little runner. I can click it up there and click it down here. Say run. Again, we'll just run from that same item and see what we get. Let's maximize that screen. So now you see it brought in family code and product code. Again, I just, as the user, I'm just interacting with this AI assistant. I'm going to say, hey, I kind of like that. I think you did a good job. I'm going to click that green smiley face and just say, good job. Great. So the AI engine is learning as more and more users work with it. And again, it's getting smarter about SyteLine as more and more SyteLine and CSI users use the product. So again, it's growing. We're on that same path as you. We're growing as we go along. So okay, so that's one. Let's try another one here. I'm going to say, and I'll type this one in here. I'm going to say, uh, sh show me an AR aging report, something like that. Okay, type that in. Oh, I probably should have done new. Let me do new conversation. There we go. Not save changes. Let's try that again. Okay. Uh, show me an AR aging report. Click run. Goes out there. And again, it comes back. If I click starting point, here's various options. I'll pick this one over here. Say use this starting point. Comes back. And again, because it's got input fields, I can select site. I can say, okay, I want to see just LA customer number. I don't want a customer number. Let's hit my drop down list. And I'm going to say, okay, I want Claymore bikes. Click that one. As of date, again, we'll do here. I'll do 01.01. That's a 1.2019, 2019. Okay, say run. System goes out there and runs our report. I'm going to maximize the report again so you can see, okay, here are the open invoices from Claymore Bikes. And if I scroll over here, I can see the aging buckets. Looks like everything right now, given that as of date, everything's kind of in that bucket for 31 to 60. But again, nice report. Again, I might say, okay, I kind of like this. And you know what I want to do is I want to schedule this report. Here, let's pretend like we're scheduling it. So I'm going to say I want to schedule it. Say, okay, says got to give it a name. I'll call it JMM Hess AR. Okay. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, set my default title in the queue director to Hess. Just if I remember to delete it. I'll click next. It says, do you want to submit for immediate execution? I'll say, no, submit with a pattern. I want this report to be sent to me every, we'll say it every week, maybe starting at, here, let's have it start at, 5:28 in the morning, starting, here we go, we'll say starting next Monday. And I want it to repeat till the end of time, or I could have it run during business hours, every hour, every 2 hours, every 5 minutes, whatever. We'll go back to every once a week. We'll say, okay. I'll click next. The system says, do you want to block it until something else is finished? I'll say no. It says, okay, do you want to be emailed every time the report runs? I'll say, no, I don't need that. But do email me anytime there's an error with it. And then, by the way, send the report out to my email address, and let's send it to me as an Excel spreadsheet. So I'll choose that option, click next. I can say normal or low priority. And now if I click finish, it's going to schedule that for us. But again, you can take these conversations you're having with the AI engine and turn it into a repeatable query that runs on any frequency you choose. I'm going to hit cancel for that right now. And I'll tell you, let's go back here. So we've done that AR agent. Let's do a new query. So I'm going to say new conversation. Okay, new query. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to say, who are my top 3 customers? Click run. System goes out there. And now it's got to figure out, what do we mean by customers? What do we mean by invoice revenue margin? I'm going to say, generate a brand new query for me. And the system goes out and it's going to go through some dialogue. And, we can kind of look at this both ways. We'll look at it, as the query itself, as well as through just kind of the English environment here. So what I'm going to do is scrolling down, I'm going to say, okay, I want to look at this at the summary level. So the summary, this report displays the top 3 customers ranked by their total invoice margin. Again, I can click on the query, shows them the tables, what's kind of going on in here, and I can say run. System goes out there, and again, here's my report showing me my top 3 customers. By default, it brings in a group called other. That's everybody else other than the top 3. I can suppress that. But again, it lets me kind of tie things back to, hey, I know total, revenue margin is 7.5 million. So I'm pretty confident in that number. So I can say, okay, that's great. But you know what I'd like to do? And I'll go back to the AI system. I'm going to say, I'll say add total revenue and show margin as a percent of total revenue. Again, I can type, and I can just go in here, hit enter, and the system's going to go out there and do its thing here. Okay, when you see that little red box, it's working on it. Okay, so it's gone in here. You can see again what it's done. And again, this is where I like that plus and minus sign. And I know I'm kind of get excited about this, but again, it shows me what it's added, how it's done its calculation. And again, if I like it, I can say run. If I don't like it, I could hit that little frowny face, or I could go in and modify it myself. But let's hit run. System goes out there, and now you'll see I've got, here's my revenue margin. Everything's ranked by revenue margin. Here's my total revenue. Here's my margin percent. And you know what? I could go in here, and if I said, oh, I want to see revenue in front of margin, I just click and drag. So again, I can work through the AI assistant, or I can click and drag and do whatever I want to do. So we've got that. Okay. And it's kind of nice. So it's a weighted average margin, which is good. So I can kind of look at this and say, hey, brand central department stores, I've got a 60% margin there. On some of these other guys, it's small. Is that because of the product they bought? Well, here, let's figure that out. Let's go. I'm going to say, add item and item description after name. Okay. Hit enter. System goes out there. And again, the AI engine, again, the data is not in the cloud. The AI engine is in the cloud that figures out how to basically generate the code that's going to give us the information we're looking for. So I can come in here. I can look at it again. That plus and minus comes in handy. So you can see what's been removed, what's been added. I click run. And here's that data now. And let's maximize the screen in this case. So you can see, okay, here's my customer name. Here are the items they bought. Here's the description. Here's the total revenue. And then here's the margin. So we can kind of look through here and say, oh, hey, I've got a great margin on red paint, or I've got a great margin on some of these others. But again, it comes in real handy for doing that. So again, click, drag, drop. That's all you need to remember. Okay, I want to do a new query for the accounting people. So I'm going to say, let's do a new conversation. It's going to be a new query. Save changes. Nope. And I'm basically just going to come in here and say, show me a summary of my GL account balances for site LA, include account description, and type. Let's go out and run that. So again, the system's going to go out, and it's going to look to see if it's got any starting points. I'll say, no, I want to build this from scratch. So I'm going to create a brand new query, and let's give the AI system a couple seconds to come back. Tells us what tables it's going to be looking at. It looks like we're going to be looking here at the ledger master, site equals LA, account description type. That all looks good. So let's run that report. So go out there, just click run, and here we go. So here's a ledger, by account, by description, by type. And I'm going to jump all the way to the bottom. Anytime you're looking at accounting data, it's good to come down and look and make sure it does balance out to zero. So that's looking great. What I think I want to do now is let's come in here and I'm going to say, you know what, I want to look at revenue. So let's go back here. And what I'm going to do is, again, I can do it either through the AI assistant or I can just do it through CyberQuery. I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to click on that type equals R. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to take on R, I'm going to do a right mouse click on it and just say, get me record type equals R. So these are all our revenue records. And what I want to do, and obviously they're negative just because revenue is negative and expenses are positive and it all nets out. But what I want to do is let's say I also want to bring in here, right now we've got this by dome amount going across all the years. I'm going to click on the options and I'm going to say to the system, okay, coming down here to my ledger browser, I'm going to take transaction date and let's take a transaction date across. So now we're looking at our transaction dates going across. Looks like, 2017 has been reversed. So I'm going to highlight 2018. So just look at 2018. And now what I want to do is I'm going to bring in transaction date again and just put it right there in the across area. So now I've got revenue by month going across the year. And again, I might say, hey, I like this report, or I'm going to come back down to the assistant and I'm going to say to the assistant, let's do this. Let's, okay, add after. So I'm going to ask it to add after description, Unicode 1, Unicode 2, and Unicode 3. That way we can kind of get a breakdown and see what departments, product codes are coming in here for revenue. So it goes out there. System thinks about it for a couple seconds, and then it's going to come back, and we'll see if we like the query. So it added. Oh, good! It added the description for Unicode 1, Unicode 2, 3. That's better. Let's say run and see what we've got. I'm going to maximize the screen again just so we can take a look at it. So we can see, okay, looks like Unicode 1, the description is blank here, but here's finished goods, distributor, here's the end user type it looks like. And again, we can look at it across months. Anytime we want, we can take all this data and send it to Excel. We could even go in there and pop open the CyberQuery Excel add-in. But again, it just shows you how easy it is to grab data. And maybe you say, hey, I want to schedule this. Here's that schedule button. Just schedule that to be emailed out as an Excel spreadsheet, again, on any frequency you choose. So it's that easy. Okay. Let's go on to another report. New query. There we go.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Let me know when you're ready to answer a couple of questions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and ask those questions now.
Okay. So I'll give you the easy ones first.
Okay.
One of the questions was, as long as you have the tables added, can you tell it to build you something brand new that you've never built before?
Oh, yeah. 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 So you can build any kind of query or conversation. It's not dependent on something that's, been done in the past.
Okay. Then another one is, does it have security built in so certain users can't have access to financial information?
Okay. Yeah. So by default, we deliver what we call two data dictionaries. One lets people see all tables, and the other one lets people see everything except finance. So that comes right out of the box. And then what you do is, again, either by user ID or by Active Directory group, you control who can do what and who can see what within that particular query or
Okay.
that environment. Okay.
I've got two hard ones if you want. I can wait and ask you those later.
Okay. Hold on to them for a second. I just want to show people kind of what's generated here. So again, we ask for efficiency, and I just want to show you the system figures out how to figure out earned hours, which is quantity complete times, JRT schedule run labor hours, and it's got actual hours, which are actual plus setup. So again, when I run this query, it's already got that logic built in that I can change and go back through and figure out. So again, these are by operation. Here's my various levels of efficiency. But go ahead, Ron. Ask me the next question.
Okay, there we go. I had to unmute my mic. So here are the two hard ones. I'll ask you uh, this one first. Can we show the availability of an item that can blow out the BOM, bill of materials, its stock, and any information that make up the parent kit? By blow up, I think it means expand.
Yeah. Okay. So they want to be able to look at, is an item available? And if not available, can we build it? And based upon that BOM, do we have availability for these components within the BOM? Yes. I mean, and we built, that actually may be one of those libraries or reports in the starting point library. So yeah, the answer is yes. And you could build it everything you find in that library, you could build interactively through the AI engine, but sometimes it's easier just to grab a starting point. So the answer is yes.
Okay. Do you want
The,
the
the
final
last
hard,
one.
the final hard one, the most complicated one of all? So this one is basically, do you have any customers that have taken their Microsoft 365 Exchange data and pull information out of that may not be captured in SyteLine from docs and emails?
Oh, okay. So again, the way the system works, and it might be, yeah, the way the system works is we've got a data dictionary for D365. So again, the whole idea here is that the data stays local. We're not moving the data into our AI engine, but because we have the dictionary for D365, the AI assistant can generate conversations based around D365 and even combine that data with SyteLine or CSI data, because you could have a dictionary that points at both D365 and CSI, for example. So the answer is yes, and it's just a matter of doing an auto load, which again takes 20 seconds to build a dictionary for D365, just like with SyteLine. So
Okay, then we have one final one, which I think I know the answer to, and you do also, but I'll ask it. Is that okay?
yeah.
Okay, can you generate a report that would show the indented bill of materials and the actual cost of the last job or PO with material and labor for the sub-level components of the indented bill of material in total at the top level?
Yeah, I think again the answer is yes, and that actually happens to be one I know pretty well because I worked with a customer as they built that. So yeah, you can do that, and this particular customer actually prompted the user when they ran it to say, do you want to look at the last job or do you want to look at the last jobs over the last 6 months? Take an average of those jobs to be able to do some pricing analysis. Because again, you may have a new machine that's going to change the way you price, or some materials may have gone up. But yeah, you can take all that data and then dump it into Excel and kind of do some what if gaming with it to determine what price you're going to ask from the customer. So yeah, you can do some very sophisticated reports like you just described. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I think we're getting close to the end of time. We're trying to keep this to 45 minutes. If I go back here to my PowerPoint. So again, if you like what you see, this is what we call the ECQ test drive. Um, just let us know. We'll send you a free evaluation copy of the software. We'll help you install it. You build some proof of concept reports. Go away, let you play with it. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, send it back to us, all at no cost. So again, a reminder, at the end of this webinar, there's going to be a survey that would like you to fill out just to give us your opinion, ask any questions you'd like. And again, if you'd like a link to the PowerPoint slides or link to the presentation, just let us know. If you'd also like the link to download a free copy of CQAI, mark that box as well, and we'll get with you. Also, if you'd like a more detailed demonstration or you have more questions you want to ask one-on-one, we can certainly do that for you. But again, want to thank everybody for attending and look forward to working with you. So thanks very much.